Today, we examine a case that began as a routine missing person report, but slowly revealed something far more disturbing. A case that forces a difficult question. How well do we really know the people living next to us? This is the disappearance of Laura Mitchell. Laura Mitchell was a 33-year-old nurse living in a quiet suburban neighborhood. Her life was structured, predictable, and consistent. She worked long shifts, returned home late, and kept mostly to herself. To her neighbors, she was polite, but distant, the kind of person you recognize, but never truly know. On a Thursday evening in late April, Laura returned home from work at approximately 8:42 p.m. Security footage from a nearby house showed her walking up her driveway, unlocking her door, and entering her home. There were no signs of distress, nothing unusual. That would be the last confirmed sighting of her. The following day, Laura failed to report to work. At first it didn't raise immediate concern, but as hours passed, then days, the silence became impossible to ignore. Her phone went unanswered. Messages were unread. By the third day, a missing person report was filed. Investigators began with her home. Inside, everything appeared normal. There were no signs of forced entry, no evidence of a struggle. Her keys were placed neatly on the counter. Her bag was by the door. Even her phone was still inside the house. It was as if she had simply vanished. Attention then shifted to the neighborhood. Neighbors were interviewed. Most reported nothing unusual, no strange sounds, no suspicious activity. But one detail began to stand out. A neighbor named Daniel Harper. Daniel had lived next door for nearly 2 years. He worked from home, rarely socialized, and kept a low profile. During questioning, investigators noticed something subtle, but important. Daniel seemed to know a lot about Laura's routine, more than expected. He knew what time she left for work, what time she returned, even which days she worked late. At first, it was explained as casual observation, but as the investigation progressed, that explanation began to feel less convincing. A search warrant was obtained. Inside Daniel's home, everything appeared orderly, clean, quiet, controlled. But in one room, investigators found something that changed the case entirely. Photographs, dozens of them, all of Laura, taken from a distance, through windows, across the street, from angles that suggested long-term surveillance. Daniel had been watching her for months, possibly longer. Further examination revealed detailed notes, schedules, observations, her movements, documented with precision. It was clear this wasn't sluchina curiosity. It was deliberate, focused, calculated. Digital evidence revealed even more. Investigators recovered deleted files from Daniel's computer, video recordings taken from a hidden camera, aimed directly at Laura's house. The timeline matched her routine exactly, and on the night she disappeared, there was one final recording. Laura entering her home, lights turning on, curtains closing, and then nothing. No footage of her leaving, no sign of anyone entering through the front. But there was one limitation. The back of her house was not visible. Investigators returned to Daniel. This time, the questioning was direct. At first, he denied everything. He claimed the photographs were harmless, that he had simply been observing. But under pressure, his story began to change. Small inconsistencies, contradictions, gaps. Eventually, he stopped answering altogether. A second, more thorough search of his property was conducted. In the basement, beneath a section of flooring, investigators found signs of recent disturbance. The area had been altered, cleaned, but not completely. Forensic analysis confirmed the presence of blood. It matched Laura Mitchell. Daniel Harper was arrested shortly after. During interrogation, he remained calm, composed. When asked what happened, he gave no clear explanation. Only fragments, statements that avoided direct answers, and Laura Mitchell was never found. The case remains unresolved in one crucial way. There has been no recovery, no confirmed location, no closure, only evidence pointing to what likely happened. Today, the house still stands. The neighborhood remains quiet. Life has continued. But for those who remember the case, one detail still lingers, not the disappearance, not the evidence, but the realization that for months, someone had been watching, waiting, learning everything, without ever being noticed. Because sometimes, the greatest threat is the one who stays silent.